All right, folks, it has happened. I know I never thought I'd see the day that this happens. I bet you probably didn't think so either, because honestly, the ninja skills of Dave Rubin to just be dodging every single criticism lobbed at him is pretty impressive, I really have to say. Not really sure how he sleeps at night. Some people theorize he plasters himself, like we saw in the video where he got plastered on that live stream, and just was, acting obviously like a drunk. But he has responded to Ana Kasparian. In fact, he actually was forced to respond to Ana Kasparian's criticism of him, where, if you guys remember, she absolutely just unleashed on him and just went ham and exposed the truth about him leaving the Young Turks simply because he wanted more money. And we all knew that. I mean, it's obvious. It's nothing surprising. It was obvious. Everyone knows that Dave Rubin left for cash. It's because obviously there was a lot to gain on being the former lefty, and then become a right winger. Everyone knew that. It was very obvious, and she absolutely just exposed him. So this video clip is 1:31 long. I'm going to play this whole clip because it's so short. And then going to show you Ana Kasparian's response, and then I want to watch it again to pause through some of the parts. So here we go.
Can I please finally tell the truth about why he left the Young Turks? He wanted to make a six-figure salary to host a 30-minute-a-week show when everyone here, because we work for an independent news company, was getting paid far less while working 12-hour days. That's why Dave Rubin left the company. And now all of a sudden he's getting funded by the Koch brothers, and all of a sudden his opinions are very different. He has no political identity. He is not an honest actor. He is not an intellectual. He is a fraud. That's who Dave Rubin is.
I wish I knew how she really felt. Boy, that's.
But no, quite where to begin. Fraud, lazy, avaricious. Immoral. You wanted more money.
First off, I never asked for. It's so silly to even, unfortunately, to have to talk about these little nonsensical things because I like talking about ideas, not about people. I never asked for more money. That's number one. I left. I told them I was leaving, and I left. There were no negotiations. That's it. Actually, my executive producer, who I brought with me, they offered to double his salary if he stayed. So together we would have made more money if we'd stayed. But that has nothing to do with nothing.
Does it make you angry?
I would say that? No. It's kind of pathetic, really. I'm not funded by the Koch brothers. I mean, I wish I was funded by the Koch brothers. That would be nice. I wouldn't be wearing H&M underwear. I mean. It's like
TMI.
This is
TMI.
This is what I'm talking about. It's that sort of endless hysteria, attacking people, attacking motives. Nobody's interested in that anymore. I really don't think people are interested in that.
Well,
all right, so that right there is Dave Rubin for you guys, okay? He is forced. Now, the clip is so short, I personally had really wished that it was far lengthier than it was. But unfortunately, it wasn't. However, that is Dave Rubin reacting to Ana Kasparian's criticism of her, which was very cogent and obviously, an expose, really. So Ana Kasparian actually responded to this on Twitter saying, "I have to say I enjoyed watching his face as he heard the truth about who he is. Also, at Stephen O, as someone who heard Dave Rubin's constant lobbying for money for his 30-minute weekly show, what are your thoughts on his claims that he, quote, never asked for more pay?" So, it's pretty obvious Dave Rubin asked for more pay. It's Dave Rubin we're talking about. That song, Cash Rules Everything Around Me? That is his motto of life. Cash rules everything around me. That's Dave Rubin's jig, okay? The Wu-Tang Clan's track. I mean, that's his gig. That's him. Is anybody really going to believe? Are you going to tell me with a straight face that Dave Rubin didn't ask for more cash for his work? Come on, man. Get out of here. You'd have to be really, insanely stupid to actually believe that or think that. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rewatch this, and I want to jump in at times.
Can I please?
So
what company was getting paid far?
Here you can see Dave Rubin's face. I'm not sure what kind of a face. The face kind of seems like one where you're looking like when you're kind of exposed, but I'm not really sure. But I want to get to here. He cracks a little laugh right here.
He is not an intellectual. He is a.
I wish I knew how she really felt. Boy, that's.
Anna did go ham in that segment. It was pretty dope, honestly.
Where to begin? Fraud, lazy, avaricious. Immoral. You wanted more money.
first off, I never asked for, you know.
Really, dog? Really? You never asked for more money? Really? You've never asked for a raise or more money or anything? Why would you lie like that, bro? We all know you're lying.
It's so silly to even, unfortunately, to have to talk about these little.
No, it's not really silly. I mean, it's a pretty important issue, right? I mean, it's the question of anytime there's any sort of reasonable, I don't know, suspicion or that you have of somebody being compromised by money for politics, yeah, that's not a small ordeal. That's huge. So it's huge to know whether or not did Dave Rubin switch his ideology for cash, and is he just an actor for money? That's a huge issue. Huge issue. Okay, that is massive. That's not some little thing of some sorts. That's very important to know whether or not you're a fraud of some sort or just, cashing in.
Little nonsensical things. Because I like talking about ideas, not about people.
So, completely false. That's not true. He always says that. I like talking about ideas. Like, it's not even a meme. Like, Michael Brooks or Kyle Kulinski or Sam Seder, whoever makes the meme of like, memes him by saying, I just like talking about ideas, bro. Like, it's not like something that's like, oh, why are you characterizing him like that? He literally says that over and over again of like, oh, I'm trying to talk about ideas, bro. He doesn't even really want to talk about ideas. And what's hilarious about this is that he will malign anybody based on their, hypocrisy or whatever, as long as it suits him. So an example of that is he's good. He's done the dumb smear against Bernie Sanders of like, oh, bro, you have 3 houses, bro. When he's a senator, meaning he has to have by default, two residencies because you have to have one in D.C. and one in your constituency because you work in 2 places. And then he has one that his wife had inherited from their parents. It's like a summer house or whatever. It's like a $600K summer house or something. And I think the one in D.C. is like some apartment or something like that. And I forgot. I think the Vermont one's like a condo or something like that. So he's doing that dumb smear. So when he says he wants to talk about ideas, he's lying. So what you've seen from the right wing, and I just did the video on roaming doofus the other day, where she's trying to do like this character assassination of Bernie Sanders as well as Beto O'Rourke, but I don't care about Beto O'Rourke, and trying to be like, oh, well, they're not giving enough to charity, therefore they're hypocrites. So it's like, what? You're losing the battle of ideas, and so you do that. So this guy right here, he will malign anybody on supposed hypocrisies or takedowns whenever it suits him. And, the example I just gave you is a concrete one, which he's done multiple times. He's done that multiple times, not just once. He's literally done it multiple times.
I never asked for more money.
Why do you keep saying that? You obviously did. Stop fucking lying.
Number one. I left. I told them I was leaving and I left. There were no negotiations. That's it. Actually, my executive producer, who I brought with me, they offered to double his salary if he stayed. So together we would have made more.
Who's his executive producer? Is that his husband? That might be David Janet. I think that is his husband, actually, because he says together we. Why would that be like a team of some sorts? Like, how would that affect your income if that's your executive producer? And it's also weird that he didn't bring up that it's his husband. I don't know. And apparently Ana Kasparian has said that his husband was the mastermind behind this whole thing, and that he's been gearing it. And apparently there was he made a bunch of sock puppet accounts. His husband made a bunch of sock puppet accounts to write stuff for Dave Rubin on Wikipedia or something like that. So that's interesting to say the least. And I don't even know if I believe if they really wanted a double salary, although I have no idea.
More money if we'd stayed, but that has nothing to do with nothing.
Nah, it's pretty important.
Does it make you?
I would say that. No. It's kind of pathetic, really. I'm not funded by the Koch brothers. I mean, I wish I was funded.
Really, dog? How do you continue saying this? And we'll get into evidence of this in a second.
By the Koch brothers, that would be nice. I wouldn't be wearing H&M underwear. I mean,
did you really have to say that? Why did you have to talk about your underwear, bro? Nobody wanted to know where you get your underwear. Nobody wanted to know about that. So TMI there, don't know what the hell he's doing. But to go back here, let's just pull this up, right? Remember, he partnered with the Ayn Rand Institute. That is who he partnered with, right? Remember, he did like his partnership where he did like 4-episode thing or whatever. Who knows how much money he's getting paid? He should tell us, if he's so transparent and not being funded by the Koch brothers, which he is, obviously. And we're going to get into here. But he did this partnership with the Ayn Rand Institute. And, it says the Ayn Rand Institute describes itself as, quote, a nonprofit organization headquartered in Irvine, California, works to introduce young people to Ayn Rand's novels, to support scholarship and research based on her ideas, and to promote the principles of reason, rational self-interest, individual rights, and laissez-faire capitalism to the widest possible audience. So Dave Rubin got money in exchange for interviewing people like some dude named Ankang Garte or something, and other people who are on the payroll of the Ayn Rand Institute. There's literally, this is sourcewatch.org. They literally have an entire section that literally says tied to the Koch brothers. And I guess these all are like tied in within. Grants received from the Charles G. Koch Charitable Foundation. He's got a bunch there. Cloud R. Lamb Foundation. Got a bunch of cash there. Donors Capital Fund. A bunch of money there. And who knows, honestly, who knows really how much is going down in this organization. But you want to know the real kicker in all this? The Ayn Rand Institute is a partner organization of the Charles Koch Institute. So there's a direct line between the Ayn Rand Institute, which he just partnered with and did a 4-episode series, and the Charles Koch Institute, a literal direct line. So that's the Ayn Rand Institute. Then we have the Institute for Humane Studies, which you guys all know about. So the Institute for Humane Studies is a libertarian nonprofit organization that engages with students and professors throughout the United States. IHS offers educational and career programs, holds seminars and on-campus programs for universities, awards scholarships, provides mentoring research grants for aspiring professors, and sponsors a collection of online videos. Wow, very interesting. So here's what's very interesting. It says the Institute Board of Directors includes Charles G. Koch, and then a bunch of other names. And then it goes on in the most important part. It says, in March 2012, in the midst of a legal dispute between Charles Koch and the Cato Institution that caused renewed scrutiny of Koch's political philanthropy, IHS's chief financial officer told the New York Times that Koch is, quote, a long-time and generous supporter of ours, but we're not involved in a political organization. Charles Koch donated a total of $12.4 million to the organization from 2008 to 2012. It says IHS fundraising appeals have been targeted to specific projects in the past, and it talks about a Rand Paul signing. Now, remember, the partnership that he had was actually with Learn Liberty, which was literally, it's an offshoot of the Institute for Humane Studies. In 2010, IHS launched LearnLiberty.org, a website producing educational videos on libertarian ideas. The site's goals are, quote, to provide a starting point for conversations on important questions. What is the nature of man in society? What are the best ways to organize human society? What is the proper role for government? As it goes on to say notable lectures, guest lectures. These are the people that are funding Dave Rubin. Those are certainly the Koch brothers, and you can't deny it because I provide you. And I think he did the defense of like, oh, there's some person who donates to a specifically Koch-funded libertarian offshoot, and therefore I'm not a sellout for Koch dollars. If someone were to take money, and by the way, Dave Rubin called, ironically, unbelievably ironic, called someone out for being a George Soros sellout, is that if you're taking money from a specifically libertarian offshoot, yeah, that's a problem. And obviously, if the Koch brothers are funding that, and then I guess you're getting some, I'm assuming a nice chunk of money from it, right? Because otherwise, why would you do it? Yeah, you're still selling out to them. And on top of that, you've got the Ayn Rand Institute as well. So it's not just one thing you've got going on there. So to finish this off, let's just look at the rest of this.
This is what I'm talking about. It's that sort of endless hysteria, attacking people, attacking motives. Nobody's interested in that anymore.
That's hilarious because not only is political discourse unfortunately run over with that, pile-driven with that, but he takes part in it whenever it's politically expedient for him or money-wise expedient for him. Like I've said, he maligns Bernie Sanders. He smears Bernie Sanders by saying he has 3 homes all the time. That's a character attack, just like you're saying, that's the endless hysteria, and you're shielding yourself from talking about his ideas. Because if you call him a hypocrite, then you're not going to talk about his ideas because, oh, he's a hypocrite, so let's not talk about him. So this total bogey, and your quote ideas are also, you're not really talking about any ideas either. So anyways, let me know your thoughts on this down below. This is very interesting.